Okay. Hey, it's Paul Bannis with GreatDad.com, and I am excited to have a great guest today because sadly, my kids are 16 and 20, and I'm not meeting as many young guys who are just about to be a dad. And I've got Joseph Blackman here, who I just got to know about a month ago. And welcome, Joseph.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, so you're also in the Bay Area in Lafayette, right?
Yes, sir. So Lafayette, California. Yeah, we were just living in Oakland, but we figured with the baby coming and need a little bit more space, and it's a little bit less expensive, so we moved to Lafayette, which is a suburb kind of through the tunnel from Oakland.
Next stop, minivan.
No. So, okay, stop. Okay, stop. So my wife always says, I don't know how anybody could go to the car lot and end up coming home with the minivan. And like, even worse, who shops like on their phone or online for a minivan? And I'm thinking the same thing, like, how do you end up in a minivan? But people do. And, some guys do it well, some guys don't. But I don't think I'll be a minivan guy. I just don't get it. Is it that sliding door, the accessibility? Like, what's up with the minivan?
Well, yeah, but I think if you go to 3, if you get to 3, you may change your mind. But I'd stay away from the minivan. It's a lifestyle choice.
I'd rather do a Sprinter like everybody in Utah. They got 7 kids in a Sprinter van than a minivan.
So what's the due date?
February 23rd. So today's the 19th. So we just wake up every day and go, it's today the day.
Yeah, that is exciting. And you're in the room where the baby's going to be.
Yeah. So this was kind of my office, kind of a little workout room, kind of a little, my reading room. But now, as you can see, we got llamas and cactus. Every child's room has to have its own theme. So llamas and cactus, that's the theme for.
Oh, so that's a llama on the wall. I thought that was a unicorn before. The unicorn is very popular too.
Yeah, unicorns too. But yeah, that's a llama. That's the changing table. I guess you have to have a table to change the baby at. You can't just do it on the couch anymore, like back in the 80s, 70s.
Back in the 80s. I love it. Yeah. I think they had changing tables back in the 80s, but still.
Okay.
But it is a great point. Is that after the first one, you realize how much stuff you got hoodwinked into buying that you really didn't need. But changing table, I think you'll appreciate the changing table because it's set up a little higher, and makes it a little more convenient.
That's also what I learned is that the parent you are for your first child is you're going to change into a different parent for your second child and for your third child and your fourth child, however many you're going to have. But it's not, and they say, you're going to spend like 60% less on the second child than the first child. The first child, you get the top-notch this, the top-notch that, this and that. Second child, they get store-bought, the not the name brand medicine. Not neglected, but not like that, top-notch that the first child got. But that's okay.
Yeah. So boy or girl?
Having a girl.
Congratulations. I had a first girl. We talked about this.
Yeah.
You're a lucky man.
Yeah, you can never say you're hoping for a boy, but as a young guy,
everybody knows most guys are. I mean, it's not sexist. It's just the way we're wired is we kind of expect a boy to be first. But I told you, that's the same way I felt. And I just fell in love with my girl, and we were so tight. And then I told you, then the second one, when we got pregnant the second time, I was like, I want a girl, and then we had a boy, and I fell in love with him, totally different, but. You can't go wrong.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll tell you a story. So at first I didn't want to know. I wanted to be surprised because I said, we're going to have a baby regardless. Like, we're pregnant, so it's going to happen. And I think that's kind of I felt like it's more fun to just wait until the baby pops out and then go, oh, it's a boy, it's a girl. I understand women want to prepare and buy and pink or blue, and not knowing what you're going to have kind of inhibits that. But I just wanted to be surprised. But I'll tell you, I was leaving for work one day, and the baby's been kicking. And I was like, hey, baby, give me a kick. I'm leaving for work. Give me a kick, a nice big kick. And wham, the baby kicked. And I'm thinking, I got to know what just responded to my voice or to me, being the father. And so we already had the envelope from the doctors. And it was on the refrigerator. We were gonna wait. We're actually I compromised. Says okay, we'll go to Christmas and we'll open up in Christmas.
Yeah.
But it was like mid-November, and I'm like, I gotta open it up. So I ran over to the refrigerator and I started to play like I was gonna open it, hoping she would stop me and say, "No, we said we're gonna wait for Christmas. It's gonna be our Christmas present." But she never stopped me. So I just kept opening, thinking, "Oh, it's a girl," and we were both so excited. I mean, tears were flowing. It was just. It's like now we have an identity for what we've been interacting with for the last X amount of months. So it was a beautiful thing, and we're happy. We're happy.
And you have a name picked out?
Yes, we do. Sierra, Sierra. So people always ask, well, why the name Sierra? And I don't know how I came up, but I just made something up one time when somebody asked me. And I said, well, because we like backpacking in the Sierras. And my wife looks at me like, where'd you get that from? We just like the name. I mean, it's nothing. It doesn't. I mean, there's no meaning behind it. Of why
it does sound like nature. It does sound like nature and fresh. And
I mean, we lived in the lower Sierras. You know, the Sierras are right there. But we just like the name. We didn't want to spell it like the pop star Ciara. Yes, the R&B singer, but we like Sierra, Sierra.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So what is one word? You've already expressed a lot of emotion around it, but what is there one word that you'd use to express your feelings? I mean, with like literally could be hours to go here.
Let's see. So it was just my brother and I, it's all my parents had. So of course we had our mom in the family, but there wasn't that much. I could tell I could tell that. And on my wife's side, it was her and two sisters and her mom, and they later married into the dad came around. So there's a lot of feminine energy in that family. So I don't know. I think this is good for my side of the family because we're going to have a young woman around, a girl. Yeah. For her side, they've had a lot of girls in their life, but you're asking one word that would describe how I'm feeling. I would say refreshed.
Cool. Meaning, that's a great perspective. I like that word.
Yeah, because and I always thought, okay, I'm gonna have a boy, because I always told my wife, we're gonna have 4 boys. She would always cringe and go, "Ooh, 4 boys." But I could tell she wanted that male energy in the home because she grew up with sisters. And I just wanted to be able to play basketball with my boys and, have a whole bunch of male energy and just have a good time with my boys. But I would say when I opened the envelope and said, I'm going to have a girl, like me being a kind of guy's guy, backpacking, ultra running, like a guy that just is a guy, having a girl around will be refreshing in a sense that it's something completely new. Yeah. It's something completely it's not something I'm used to. I've never been one to like hold little babies at the church, and I don't like I just don't know. I try to stay away from babies just because they're like, I don't know what to do with them. And I think,
well, you don't have to like other babies, just got to like your own.
Okay. I'll work on that. But yeah, I think it will be refreshing for me and for my wife to have a little girl to raise and mold, especially in this society that we're coming up into, living in the Bay Area, whether the social injustices, the women's injustices, having a mixed baby. Female. Yeah. Like I'm Black, my wife is Japanese and white. So we're going to have
a lot going on there.
Yeah, we don't know what skin tone she's going to be. Yeah. We were watching the tennis with Serena and Naomi Osaka, and Naomi Osaka is Japanese and Black. I'm thinking, she gonna look like that? She gonna have the frizzy hair? Like we don't. It's gonna be something fresh. We're not gonna know what she's gonna look like or sound like or be like. So it's gonna be refreshing once we start to see her grow from like 0 to 3 months and 3 to 6 months and then like 6 months to 18. Like
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So
well, my kids are Korean American, and another time we'll have another conversation about that. Let's not get into that now. We'll be on for an hour, and we'll still won't get anywhere close to any kind of understanding of it. So how about anxieties? Anything you're worried about, like right off the?
I'll start with the relationship between my wife and I.
Changes.
So I read a lot. So I've read books that say, okay, and I had some good guys kind of, sow seeds into my life of how to be a husband with a newborn, because your woman's body will change.
Yeah.
That sexy, super attractive woman turns into this, I call her a duplex. She's like walking around looking like a house. I'm like, you're bigger than a house. You're a duplex. But and I say it in jest, but I know that women, they start to not feel sexy anymore. They start to feel like, okay, they see this hot girl on TV, this young 22-year-old girl on TV. And then, my wife is sitting next to me and she has a baby inside her. And I have to reassure her that the weight, the stretch marks, the walking like a penguin, that's mine. Like I could take possession of that because I did that. Meaning that's my baby or our baby inside her that she is bringing into the world. And that's a beautiful thing. Like that's like just seeing how her body changes. I say Sierra's commandeering your body to be birthed into the world. Like she's saying, hey, I got to come into the world. So I'm going to take your body for these next 9 months. and then I'm going to show up when I'm done. And I have to reassure that like, yo, those stretch marks are mine. It's kind of like, if you take your truck out mudding and you go through the mud and your truck's all dirty, you get back and you got to wash it off. Like that's my mud. Like you're kind of smiling like, yeah, I did that today. But think about like, if I took your truck and went out mudding with it and then gave it back to you, you'd be like, yo, that's not my mud. So I have to like, it's mine. Like those are my stretch marks. That's my baby weight. That's my X, Y, and Z, how her body's changing. I have to be able to, I'm learning that I have to be able to express to her that I still love her. I still think she's beautiful. I think what's happening inside her is even more beautiful and more like respectable, instead of just always holding on to how she did look in the past, because it's, we're moving to the future with the baby. So I don't think there's any amount of reassurance you can give that is too much. So it's a hard thing when your body changes that quickly for women, and not being a woman. I have no idea, but I can tell you it's like that feeling like things have changed. You've gone from being this younger woman to now a mom. It's a different dynamic, and as much as you can reassure, that's great. Yeah. Okay. And the second, I would say, with being a father, you said question was what anxieties or what might I be thinking about being a father? And I mean, kind of like your platform, Great Dad. I don't want to be a dad that, and I'm sure every dad says this, but I don't want to be a dad that just kind of mails it in and just, cause like, what do they say? You can take care of a baby as they grow up, or you can raise a human, a child, or you can raise somebody versus just taking care of somebody as they're getting older and growing up. I want to be able to raise a daughter. We don't have to get into like what type of woman she needs to be, like alpha woman versus stay-at-home mom. Like we don't have to get into all that, but I just want to raise a human that goes out into the world and represents the last name until she finds a mate to take somebody else's last name, and then we did a good job. Well done, that good and faithful servant. I just want to be a good and faithful servant over my daughter's life as I'm raising her. So yeah, I would say the anxieties lay in just me being able to do the right things, be the right guy at the right time for my daughter.
I think that hasn't always been the case. Men like the generation before me, I started GreatDad.com largely in response to the type of dads that I knew growing up. A lot of them were really great guys, and some, coached the Little League and all the rest and were really involved. But there are a lot of men who, like you say, just they just phoned it in. They went to work, they came home, they asked for their beer, they sat in front of the TV, and that was their lives. And the emotional well-being, the cheerleading of their kids, and the involvement and everything. That wasn't what they did because they thought that was feminine, or that was mom's job, or whatever it is. And now I think it's really changed. Your generation, even more than my generation, is more keyed in on that equal roles between men and women. There's no longer, you wouldn't get by with like just saying, honey, you do the laundry.
Kitchen, laundry room. Yeah. Where's my dinner? Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you about like did you do the triathlon yet? Or are you still planning to do the triathlon?
Well, I'm still planning on it. I started doing the open water swimming. That's tough. It's really tough. I don't have I didn't invest in a bike yet. So I was still just looking to do I want to do you live in San Francisco, so the Escape from Alcatraz race. You swim from Alcatraz to San Francisco. I want to do that. I doubt it'll happen like Q1 or Q2, but maybe the one they do in like August, might be able to hop into if I get more competent at open water swimming. And then yes, the running, that's something I've been doing for the last couple of years. So that's pretty much I would say it's in the bank, but once I can figure out the swimming, then I'll get a bike and I'll start figuring all that out. But
well, first thing you're going to have to figure out in a couple hours, a couple of days is how are you going to fit that in? And baby,
I'm learning that.
A lot of stuff, right?
So answer this for me. So I'm starting a new job on the 15th of March, right? And normally I play basketball for about 2.5 hours a day, which can be a lot. And I don't want to be the guy because I start from 7, I'm supposed to get off at 6, meaning I'm leaving the house at 6 a.m. Right. I get off work at 6. Where's time for basketball? I don't want to be the guy who comes home at 8 o'clock or not 8:30, having been gone all day. My daughter is asleep. My wife is, she's tired from being up and down all day. And then where's the me time at? Do all I get is a Saturday, Sunday? Is that how it works?
Yeah. And even that, she might be pretty tired by the end of the week too, if she's doing the full-time caregiving. So totally.
And I'm learning that it's going to be more of you got to figure out what your priorities are.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to keep, then you got to keep your priorities in mind. You got to keep all the balance stuff in mind. Yeah. It's a lot. If you ever want to talk about that, I'm here for you. I work as a coach too. So I've been, I coach a lot of dads, especially, huge transition point is newborn, because that change of life is really hard. And the first 2 years for a lot of guys is hard because, you'll fall in love with her and she's your baby and everything, but you won't feel this, at least I didn't. And a lot of guys I talk to don't feel this bond the same way the mom feels this, because they have a physical / emotional bond that they just look at that baby and all they think of is the relationship they've had in the body and the guy quite often is saying like, I know I love this baby. I know I'm supposed to feel this bond, but is it something wrong with me? I'm not feeling this thing. And I can remember very distinctly, it wasn't until like about, 2.5, 3 years old. I can't remember. I got my daughter up and put her at the table and she started eating her cereal on her own. And I said something and she laughed, and suddenly like something just clicked. Like I was just our relationship just went up a notch because she was more interacting with me than I was just taking care of her, which I loved. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that is fulfilling, but it's not the same as, I think, for men at a certain point, something else turns on.
Gotcha.
So don't feel bad if you don't feel immediately like,
Yeah. And it's funny because the book says that women consider themselves mothers as soon as they get pregnant.
Right.
Men consider themselves fathers when they can hold and touch the baby. Right. It's I guess it'll shift once I see the baby. Like you said, once I get the baby to laugh or smile or do something that it reacts with me, I think that's when it'll probably hit me and go, whoa, this is my child. Like I own this.
Another one like that is women count down how long they've been pregnant. Guys count down like how long until the baby arrives.
We do go through that a lot. Yeah.
How many months have I been doing this?
Yeah, she said, I'm ready to be done being pregnant. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm really excited for it. You can tell. I'd do it again in a heartbeat if my wife had wanted to have a third, and I'd wanted to get the minivan. But
yeah, no minivan.
no, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Joseph. We'll
Sure.
talk again soon. Maybe we'll get an update. So again, Paul Baines
Sure.
from GreatDad.com, and we're here with Joseph Blackman, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thank you.